We appreciate you watching and listening to The Dead Jeff Show. Please like and subscribe and tune in for more videos.
99.9% of me feels like this was an intentional dive by Punk. This feels like just him trying to help Braun along.
I hope it wasn't an intentional dive, because that would really piss me off, because it's like now I have to water down my deal because you can't step up to the level. That's not what we need in wrestling. We need them to make those guys earn it, and we're not going to crown them just because they think we should crown them.
Well, that's how the world is now a little bit. Like it's just like kind of soft now. Everything's kind of watered down, and like you can't step on toe. That's another reason why I really liked where SmackDown left off with Cody Rhodes. Like I like that they're kind of crossing the line a little bit. Like you're a good wrestler or whatever, but you still have a lot to learn, and you're not ready yet. And I'm gonna make you look foolish and make you go back to the drawing board and try again next time.
It's a great day to be alive on the Dead Jeff Show, WWE Edition. I'm Jeff, that's Nick, and that's the Maestro Luke, looking like MC Gusto and Dirty Dom. If you get the MC Gusto reference, that's funny. CB4 movie.
I do not have a black eye.
And are you a pothead, fucker?
No, I'm straight edge like CM Punk.
You come on here looking like a pothead, but that's okay. All right, welcome in to our WWE show. I think this is episode 6 of the WWE. I've lost count. It's also the show we're going to talk about the best and worst of 2025 with the WWE. We're going to go through the news, through the wrestling news today, and then we're going to do the Smackdown and Raw recaps. So we're glad that you joined us. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and let us know how you if you like the show. If you don't like the show, just pass on by, baby. Don't worry about it. Okay, let's get into some news. First of all, before we get to the news, I mean, look, we're winding down another year, guys. 2025 is over. How do you feel in general about your 2025?
Oh man, I feel great about 2025. It was a good year. Really happy with pretty much, I'm gonna knock on wood here, but not a lot to complain about, man. I'm trying to be a positive person in general anyway. But really feel like it was a good year. Not, like I said, not a lot to complain about. Had some really, really big things happen in my life in 25. Really happy with and very proud of, and really looking forward to 26 with a different perspective and kind of, I'll say here, born again Christian, give my life to God, and just really looking forward to continuing to walk in that spiritual path, and won't take us too far down that path, but I am very happy with that and very proud of that for not only me, but my family also did it. So big year, really good year professionally. It's been some ups and downs, but for the most part, it's been very, very positive. So, man, really, really just blessed. It's been a great year.
Awesome. What about you, Maestro? How was your year, 2025?
It was kind of a blur, honestly. I don't even remember what happened. I know I got a little older, which I'm not super happy about that, I guess. I wish I could just be a kid again and not have to pay bills and pay a mortgage and all that's fun stuff. So that's what I've been dealing with. But yeah, got a house, so that was probably the highlight, I think. But yeah, I mean, I'm in the grind stage right now. Head down, grind, work.
Yeah.
So,
well, that's good. That's good for you. I remember those days. For me, 2025's been interesting. I came out of retirement and went back to work, so that was fun. I got bored a little bit in retirement and decided to come back, and it's been a great year, successful at work. Fantastic year, honestly. Lots of big things for me. It was a big health journey for me. I lost 50 pounds this year, so I'm excited about that.
Nice.
Trying to keep it off through the holidays is rough, but I'll be glad. Shout out to my coach, Heather Neighbors, who's really helped me on my health journey. Really I'm addicted to sugar. I love sugar. And so she's helped me break that addiction and deal with it properly. And, I guess there are worse things you could be addicted to, but
For sure.
sugar wrecks the body, man. It's so addicting, and I'm glad that I am where I am, but I still got a little ways to go. Now I'm looking at body composition for 2026, trying to get that where it needs to be. So big year for 2025, looking for better and better things in 2026. So glad to hear the news from you guys. Congratulations on becoming a Christian, Nick, and Luke becoming a homeowner.
There you go.
Welcome to being a homeowner. All right, let's get into the wrestling news for the week. We got some big stories and three of the brands. We'll start with AEW news. We got MJF coming out on top at World's End. He's the AEW champ again. He won the 4-way with Hangman, Swerve, Samoa Joe. Hangman was setting Joe up for a buckshot lariat, and he hit it, went to another side of the ring to try to hit another one, went to the third side of the ring to hit one, and MJF connected with a low blow. MJF quickly ran over to Joe, hit the Heat Seeker to get the pinfall. MJF is your new AEW World Champion, and I like MJF a lot, so I'm happy about this. I know they took the belt off of Hangman, gave it to Samoa Joe, which is a little... I don't know if I like that, but I'm glad they gave Joe one little last run, hopefully. And MJF is back on top, which it's better for AEW that he's on top with the belt, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's way better for the company. I think I very much consider myself a, in the news kind of AEW person. Like, I won't ever watch an entire AEW show, but I will go and watch some recaps. I'll try and keep up with what's going on. I think the most I've ever watched AEW, whether it be live or even in like YouTube highlights, is when MJF is doing anything entertaining, right? It's an entertaining dude. He's a great, obviously, promo. So this can't be bad for the company to have the most charismatic person you have on your roster as your champion. That stands to reason.
No, it's great. And, even in the match, he did that crotch bump to the head of Swerve, which is pretty funny. He just is an entertaining guy, MJF. So I'm glad he's there. And I actually like the AEW in the Hammerstein Ballroom. Like, it's a callback, right? It's a great venue for wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
I like that they're there right now. It is the wrestlers show. It's wrestling. It's pro wrestling more than sports entertainment, obviously. But I like MJF a lot. Continuing in AEW, we had Moxley, who won the Continental Classic, which was pretty cool. John Moxley, he defeated Kyle Fletcher in the semifinals, and then he beat Okada in the finals, and that ended the 647-day reign for Okada as the Continental Champion. So Moxley, his first ever tournament win. He lost to Eddie Kingston in 2023 in the finals, but after the match, Moxley said the Continental Championship belonged to the fans and every single person who was a part of Continental Classic. So a little cool moment there from Moxley and the crowd. Do you like the Continental Classic, this tournament style, this point style deal?
I like that winning means something. I like that records mean something. I mean, I think that's a cool concept. In a world where kayfabe doesn't exist really, everyone knows it's a work. Everyone knows that it's predetermined. To still have winning and losing mean something, that's kind of cool. I will say I am not a Moxley fan. I do not like Moxley. Don't like anything about him. I don't like his promo. I don't like his work. I don't like that he relies. So it's almost like a Mick Foley to an extreme degree. Like, I'm just going to allow these things it's like the shock value of it, which I understand the space. I just don't care for it. So, don't care for Moxley. Really do enjoy the Continental Classic and just trying to have winning and losing matter.
No, I can hear you on that. Did you like Moxley when he was Dean Ambrose?
I did like him in the Shield, and I think that's also probably contributing to why I don't like him now. And he has to, right? It has to be a far departure.
Well, it sounds like you're a sports entertainment storyline guy more than you are a wrestling guy, so that makes sense, right?
Yeah, 100% true.
What about you, Maestro? Did you like Dean Ambrose or you like John Moxley better?
Going back to Samoa Joe, I didn't know he was still wrestling. I don't really watch the AEW though. And the last time I saw MJF was on Impractical Jokers. So I didn't even know they were I didn't even know they were still really in the business, but
You're killing your credibility here, man.
Well, I'm not known for being a credible source. I'm not
true.
breaking news here. I'm just giving my opinion.
You sure you're not a pothead, Fogger? Are you sure?
Yeah, I have these glasses on just so in case I fall asleep talking about AEW. Okay. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
All right.
Yeah, John Moxley. I mean, I wasn't a big fan of Dean Ambrose when he was in WWE. So
Right.
I always liked Seth Rollins. Roman Reigns was okay. I think I kind of have the same, because I know they were all on Shield together and stuff. But I kind of had the same. I always liked Seth Rollins the most.
Yeah.
So that's just me.
Well, that's okay. I'm glad Moxley went with the bald haircut. He's rocking the bald haircut, much better than the Ambrose Caesar haircut, whatever that was called.
The thinning hair.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Let's move on to some news in TNA. TNA's getting a TV deal. Got a TV deal. They're going on AMC on Thursday nights. Thursday Night Impact from 9 to 11, and it starts January 15th. And that show is in Garland, Texas, where we're in Texas. It's right down the road at the Colwell Center. So I'm getting hammered on my social medias with ads about tickets for that thing, so there must be plenty of seats available. But TNA getting a TV deal. I like this. I know the partnership with WWE has helped out a lot, but I really like some of the things going on in TNA, and I'm excited to hear about this, and I want to see the presentation and see how it changes starting January 15th.
Yeah, I think it'll be really good. I think one of the things that'll be really interesting from a just, kind of being a data stats guy is the way that they've been reviewing and capturing the TV ratings now. Supposedly it's way more accurate, and we've seen some of these numbers looking a little bleak, man. And the numbers are looking down from what now it could just be that it was previously recorded inaccurately. And so it really isn't any different. It's just we have a different understanding of what the number really is. But I do know that just from kind of a like you mentioned earlier, like I feel like TNA is kind of walks that line between the glitz and glamour and total sports entertainment of WWE, but then it's not the independent pro wrestling show that is AEW. So I do feel like they found a nice little niche in between. So it'd be interesting to see what those ratings are compared to, say, AEW Dynamite or even SmackDown.
Well, a lot of people think the ratings are just what they use to sell advertising, so it's always been a little bit inflated. So, but I'm excited to have them on TV and see what the presentation looks like. I don't get a lot of TNA. I consume it in a lot of clips. If I see something cool, I'll go check it out. Check out that week's show. But I'm not just a regular watcher. But I might be starting to be a regular watcher. So, other TNA news, they had their year-end awards. Their male wrestler of the year was Mike Santana. The match of the year was Santana versus Mustafa Ali, which I actually did see that match, was fantastic. Moment of the year was AJ Styles returns to TNA at Slammiversary. That was a cool moment. We got the fortune to meet AJ Styles back in the CWF, the Christian Wrestling Federation. Yeah,
yes, sir.
Nice. Shout out to Rob and Bishop and those guys. Phil, the real deal, Bishop. Shout out to you, buddy. But we got to meet AJ Styles before he was the phenomenal one. But always love AJ, and it was cool to see him back in TNA this year for that show. Any comments about AJ Styles? I know, Luke, that's one of your favorite guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, AJ.
Great.
I
way to
saw
contribute,
it on,
Luke.
No, I thought you were asking Nick. Because you were like,
said
Luke's one of my favorite guys, so you already know where I stand. I love AJ Styles. Well, yeah, I love AJ Styles, and I always have. And yeah, I mean, what else can I say? I mean, it's AJ Styles, phenomenal.
I feel like you're yelling at me. Why are you so loud all of a sudden?
You told me to pick up my energy. That's what I'm doing.
Well, I just told you to suck less. That's what I told you. Just suck less.
I never suck. I never
All
suck.
right. Oh, now he's
AJ
got heel. We got heel Luke.
I'm
Luke's
about to
putting on
write-
his heel persona.
Yeah, I'm about to write a promo.
He's got, well, we don't have all day, buddy. All right.
Yeah.
Nick,
yeah,
Whatever.
AJ Styles is for me. Whenever he came over from TNA, I did not. Back then, I was not following it. The only thing I would follow from TNA back then was like Kurt Angle. Like I was a huge Main Event Mafia. Like when that stuff was going on, I would follow.
well, that was way later. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was the only time I was really dialed into TNA at all. So I didn't know a lot about AJ Styles. When I got introduced to AJ Styles, actually was the documentary showing him coming into the Royal Rumble and then having that square off with Roman Reigns on his first day in, which was awesome. Like what a great way to debut.
Was that the soccer mom haircut?
Yes, it was a soccer mom haircut. That's right.
That was bad. That was a bad time.
That was
for
a bad
AJ.
time for him for his hair.
Yeah.
But I will say, man, he came in and just felt like he belonged almost right away. He just made the right moves. He had the right look, good on the stick, and very few better workers, maybe ever. So huge AJ Styles fan.
And him coming back to TNA, huge moment for sure. The finisher of the year is Leon Slater's Swanton 450, which is awesome if you haven't seen that. We got to see Leon in the WWE and with that partnership. And sounds like he might be making another appearance here.
Yep.
The women's wrestler or knockout of the year was Ash by Elegance. If you haven't had a chance to see these ladies, they're something else. I really like them. The crossover moment of the year for TNA was obviously Joe Hendry versus Randy Orton in WrestleMania 41, which was awesome. It was, the thing about wrestling is it's hard to keep things a secret.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody kind of thought it was going to be Joe Hendry, but it was cool to see him in a WWE ring, let alone at WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
And Luke, I'm saving this one for you, buddy. Tag team of the year.
Hardy Boys?
The Hardys. Yep, they are the
Yeah.
tag team of the year for TNA. And that's Jeff Hardy's number one fan right there.
Oh, yeah.
So
I should have done my braids. Dang it.
cool end of the year awards. I don't know if when the WWE or if they're doing the Slammies this year or whatever, but
The Dundies. The Dundies.
the Dundies of wrestling. But this is it was a cool little deal for TNA. And then obviously they've had some talent make the main roster at Smackdown or Raw. We've seen Joe Hendry. We'll get to that in a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So pretty good year for TNA with the partnership with WWE, and they're slowly emerging and challenging AEW.
Yep.
I don't think they're there yet, but they're on their heels. WWE news, just got a few things here. The WWE archives are leaving Peacock in a day or two, and there's no new home that's been announced yet. Most people think it's going to land on YouTube, and it's going to roll out slowly over time, or Netflix might be a likely destination. Most people think it's YouTube, but this is kind of going quiet. I love the archives on Peacock. I loved it when it was the WWE Network. But now we may have some time here where we can't access those archives. How do you feel about that?
Man, it's tough for me because one of my I'm a white noise person, or I'm like a noise in the background person, particularly when I'm trying to go to sleep. And I know that's I've heard people tell me that's not healthy, or you shouldn't be doing that. But
right,
I cannot fall asleep to I gotta have noise on or I won't sleep.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite things to put on is three things. It's the rise and fall of WCW. It's the Triple H Thy Kingdom Come documentary, and then it's like the entire catalog of the Monday Night Wars. Like I'll just put those things on and just have it in the background. And it sounds like I won't be able to do that for a while, which sucks. And then not to mention I love going back and watching. My favorite match of all time is the WrestleMania 17 TLC with the Hardys, the Dudleys, and Edge and Christian. And so like just being able to go through and find some of those without watching an entire event, watching, or the very first Hell in a Cell match, like all that stuff, just all the old content, old matches, and then even going back to the old territory days. I wasn't alive back then, but some of that stuff, man, was really, really cool. So I'll go back and watch like Jerry Lawler's territory, the Jarrett's territories, like all those different things, man. So it sucks that it's leaving.
Yeah, I'm a big world-class championship wrestling territory fan. Von Erichs, Freebirds, all those guys. Iceman King Parsons was one of my favorites as a kid. Chris Adams. So I
Oh, the
watch a lot
gentleman.
of that. Yeah, I watch a lot of that content on there. Thankfully, a lot of it's on YouTube. So if I want to catch some stuff, I can watch it on YouTube. But I do go back and watch a lot of the Stone Cold old podcasts that he did. I watch a lot of the old school, probably somewhere between all the WCW stuff with the NWO, then all the old pay-per-views. I was a big Kurt Angle fan, Stone Cold fan, Randy Orton fan. So I'm in the archives quite a bit. So it's a little bit of a bummer that they don't seem to have a solid plan, or if they do, they haven't really told us what they're going to do. So that's a little bit of a bummer. We'll see how it pans out. Maybe there's something awesome coming. So we'll wait and be surprised, I guess.
Yeah, I'm gonna miss watching you know, the Hardy Boys old matches, Scotty Too Hottie, the
Grandmaster
Spirit
6A.
Squad. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
All the good stuff, The DX, all the DX, the old DX stuff. Man, me and my friend in 6th grade, we get in trouble for doing the crotch chop all the time in class. I mean, it is what it is. We're kids, That's what I watched as a kid, but I'm gonna miss reliving that. So
How much crotch chopping have you done lately? I mean, seriously, how much DX have you been watching?
no,
It's
not
funny
enough.
that the way Shawn Michaels looks now, you would never think he would be
Right.
that guy back in
Right.
the day.
Oh, it's so
And
true.
Triple H, the same. They just look so different now. But yeah,
Yeah.
DX was a big thing. I loved Santino Marella.
Yep.
I loved him.
Yeah.
All the comedy stuff. So we'll see where the archives land. A couple things to note here in WWE. Chad Gable is set to return soon. I saw this from Sean Ross Sapp. He said he's going to be around Rumble time probably. That's where I read it. I don't know if Sean was the first to report it, but I like Sean Ross Sapp over there at Fightful Select. I think that's where he's at. I don't want to get that wrong. So we'll probably see Chad Gable leading up to the Royal Rumble or at the Royal Rumble. So that's good timing. Also, according to Dave Meltzer, Dirty Dom is out 3 to 4 weeks with his shoulder injury. Didn't need surgery. So Luke's current hero, Dirty Dom, is going to be out for a few weeks. I think they could probably still use him in promos and have him show up.
Yeah.
Just no physical altercations. So hopefully we'll see Dom very soon. And again, right around Rumble, it seems like he'll be able to get physical again. So one other note I have is, did you hear what Kevin Nash said about CM Punk? I thought this was pretty funny coming from Nash. He said, quote, this is from his Click This podcast. I watched Punk in the main event of the match last Monday. That was 12/22. Number one, if you're the heavyweight champion of WWE and you wrestle in a t-shirt, ouch. That's what he said. Number two, his punches looked really slow. He looked slow. I think it's time for him. I think he's done. I think Braun should beat him, Nash claimed. And this was on his Click This podcast. What do you think about his comments about CM Punk?
So it's good to see that Kev has gotten over the promo back in 2010 or whatever that was when CM Punk just ran him down.
Yeah.
Trips tried to
A
get
little bad blood.
Oh man, I mean he clearly hasn't let that go. I'm really curious what year it is. I'm gonna look it up real quick, but that had to have been 2010 or something like that.
Bro, who even liked Kevin Nash anyways?
It's not a
Who even liked him anyways?
Well, there was a time he was really good, but the NWO thing, the Outsiders with Scott Hall, it was a big deal.
Nah.
I never liked him as Diesel or any of that stuff, but
yeah, it was
a
2000.
nice run with
It's 2011,
Outsiders.
so it's 14 years ago. And I think the thing coming out of that too, and I remember at the time being very involved in it, just like loving the storyline and reading as much as I could about it, on the dirt sheets, was Kev feeling like CM Punk wasn't grateful for all the things he had done. He had even mentioned on air, like, you should be thanking me for getting guaranteed contracts and just,
It's true.
everything I did for the business sort of thing, which 100%, like, it is true. But to expect CM Punk to mark out for you based on something that had happened at that point 20 years earlier, to Luke's point, like, Kev was relevant probably up until about 98, 99. That,
Well, it's the old man get off my lawn
Yeah.
syndrome, right? Because I think Kevin has to be careful. I like Kevin Nash
Yeah.
personally. I listen to his podcast every now and then when I find there's a good subject that I'm interested in. I'm not an every week listener, but I'm probably once a month listener. But the thing, if you go back and look at Kevin Nash in TNA, and as he was older, he couldn't do a lot of things. So it's don't throw stones when you live in a glass house, because he stayed too long as well. And I think CM Punk recently had gotten in pretty good shape. So I'm not sure if he's just letting himself go in the last couple months, but it does look a little different, and it is weird that he's wrestling with a t-shirt. That may be a choice. That may be he's hiding something. Maybe AJ's beating him and he's got bruises he's hiding. I don't know. I'm just kidding.
Well, what about Rey Mysterio? Rey Mysterio doesn't wrestle shirtless really anymore. I mean, it just happens when you get older. Maybe he's just drinking too much Pepsi. I don't know. I support that, though. I love Pepsi. I love soda. I'm all for it.
Could just be a tattoo, right? It could just be he got a new tattoo or something.
Let's just go shirtless for the rest of the podcast, guys.
We're not doing sports and jorts.
In honor of CM Punk.
We're not doing
sports and jorts.
And we're not doing shirtless.
Okay.
Or, better idea, we all get a Pepsi tattoo.
No.
I'm down for that.
I'm okay with that.
We'll leave
where I'm going to put it.
We'll leave that to Phil Brooks. All right. Now I like Coke better anyway. All right. So that's all the news we have for this week. At this time, I want to kind of look at, it's the year end. We just talked about that a minute ago. So at this time of the year, everybody comes up with their best and worst moments of 2025. So why not? Let's jump on that bandwagon. Let's do our best and worst WWE moments of 2025. And we're literally going to save the best for last. So let's start with the worst things of 2025. Now, there's a couple I want to throw out here that have nothing to do with in the ring real quick. It's just the sports business side of things and a little bit of sad news. The passing of Hulk Hogan was one of the worst things. I grew up with the Hulkamania era. You guys Nick, you probably got the tail end of that, the NWO era, the Hollywood Hulk Hogan.
Yep.
Luke got a little bit of that. But it was really sad losing Hulk this year. It really had a kind of effect on me. I didn't think it would, but that was one of the worst things of the year. Two other things that I want to talk about is Joe Testator is announcing. I am not a fan of Joe Testator. I have that in my worst of the year. He's really over the top lately, and he's really marking out hard and really hyping up things that are like, Joe, that's a generic thing. Calm down a little bit, buddy. You're going to bust a blood vessel, but Joe Testator is one that I have on the worst. And then I want to say, before I throw it to you guys for a couple, is ESPN's promotion of the PLEs. That's been awful. Again, educate the host a little bit on what's actually going on with storylines and all the other things. Let's determine whether we're given an interview in character or not in character. I think that struggled. And one last not in the ring thing was that roast of WrestleMania that was on. That was awful. That that was a long time ago, but a lot of people have forgotten the roast of WrestleMania, but that was really bad. I'll throw it over to you for some comments or some other things you want to add on the outside of the ring things.
Yeah, the outside of the ring things, the announcement of WrestleMania in Saudi Arabia, that was this year. Without making it the political, that space, just the idea of the first, like, you've seen some of these.
Wait, WrestleMania?
Yeah, WrestleMania is going to be at Saudi Arabia next year.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant, okay. I thought you were talking.
Yeah, so it was originally supposed to be like in Vegas or Philly or somewhere like that. And then they came back like a week later, however long it was later. And we're like, oh, just kidding.
It was going to be in New Orleans.
New Orleans, there you go.
That's right.
That's
they
right.
moved it back to Vegas. It's not in Saudi Arabia next year. It's in Vegas.
Then the year after, it's in Saudi Arabia. But they announced it this year.
Yeah, The Rock came out and announced New Orleans, remember?
Yeah.
And then they changed it back to Vegas we're going to run it back to Vegas for 42.
Yeah.
So that's why you threw me off with Saudi Arabia for next year, because I think that's where the Royal Rumble is, right? In Saudi? In Saudi?
Possibly, yeah. But just the idea of like
Look
when
that
you've
up, Maestro. Where's the Royal Rumble 2026?
when you've had like Lille, France, and you had like some of these, like even like going back to like Puerto Rico, and some of these shows that you've done that have just been, I mean, amazing crowds. Like, man, what an atmosphere for a show. These Saudi Arabia Crown Jewel events and some of these other events that they're doing in Saudi Arabia, like they're it's okay. I mean, it's not like they're quiet, but it ain't what you're getting in some of these soccer countries, right? Like these football countries are just rabid, and they add so much to the, like, I'm convinced that Lille France event will be in the Hall of Fame. Like it needs to be. Like it's just so incredibly good. So that's one of my worst outside of the business, or outside of the ring kind of stuff, is just the first WrestleMania not in America, or not in North America, being in Saudi Arabia. I don't care for that.
Okay. Some other worst things.
It is in Saudi Arabia. Sorry.
The Royal Rumble? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Some of the other things that I have as the worst was The Rock on the Netflix debut coming in and say, "Hey guys, forget the final boss. I love Cody Rhodes. Cody, come out here. Let's chum it up a little bit." Right? It was just a weird thing, and I know that they wanted The Rock to be on the Netflix debut. It just didn't go well. And we know, and there's some other things on here with The Rock that are the worst. But that was one that started the year off with the Rock's debut on Netflix. What do you think about his Netflix debut?
Yeah, I've got a list here of stuff, and my list on the worst says The Rock, and then in parentheses, pretty much everything. For the
Come
year.
on,
So
he's been good in the past. I don't know what happened.
Not in
The last
25
couple years.
He turned into a jabroni. That's what happened.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, he did a little bit.
Yeah,
he got
so
a little selfish in 2025.
It definitely got selfish in 25. The sitting on the board went to his head. I didn't like I honestly, it's tough to think of, just other than the reaction from the crowd, which every time the music hits, that is still pretty cool. Like it's still cool. Just like it's cool to hear the gong. It would be awesome to hear the glass break. Like there's a few of those first notes when you hear them. It's never
Goosebumps.
it's never gonna not be amazing.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for The Rock, once that first 45 seconds ends, that's pretty much where it all goes from there. So, wasn't a big fan.
I mean, old pitchers lose a little bit off their fastball. That's what it seemed like. Rock's been in TV and movie world for too long, and he usually comes back and does really, really well, but he struggled this year. And I think the other thing would be the pivot off the Cena heel run because of The Rock and Travis Scott. I don't know what happened. Maybe there was a bad communication. Maybe it wasn't The Rock's fault. Maybe we'll find out one day the true story. Maybe they just wanted him to come in and create a moment, and they were going to take it somewhere else. But then maybe his schedule changed. I don't know. Something changed. According to John Cena in his interview with Cody, that something changed. He didn't want to throw anybody under the bus, but something did change. And so the Cena heel run, because of the pivot after The Rock, I have as bad as one of the worst things this year. I also have Lesnar squashing Cena in his farewell tour. I didn't like that. Couple more I'll throw at you, and then I'll throw it to you guys. Travis Scott's long entrance at WrestleMania 41 during the Cody and Cena match. That was awful. It's like he just, I think at 8 minutes to get to the ring or something ridiculous like that?
Unfortunately, not exaggerating.
Yeah, I mean it was awful. It's and so just Travis Scott being involved, not being involved, that was a bad call by somebody. And the Cena Rhodes match wasn't great anyway, and that just made it worse, I think. And then the last thing I have is Tiffany Stratton going off script with Charlotte and getting personal, and that was not good for her. But that's really all I have on the worst list of 2025. I didn't rank them. I just kind of put them on here. Do you have any that I missed? What do you think about the ones I've mentioned? What's on your list?
Yeah, the Stratton one, that was the that'll make it 0-3. Is that promo where she's talking about she's gonna end up alone and
Yeah. It's
Something about
relationship
being
stuff and
yeah, okay.
divorces
Yeah.
and
They covered that
and
in
then Charlotte says, "Why is Ludwig in my DMs?"
yeah. Yeah,
And
that
that
they covered that in Unreal, right, on the documentary?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that was pretty rough. Also, but I will say it did make me care about that match a little bit more. Um,
Yeah, I'm sure.
so I mean, I don't. Yeah, I'm an attitude era
It was
baby. So
bad
that
though. I know,
no, it was
but it was
was
unprofessional, and you could tell
100%.
Charlotte was really pissed, right?
Yeah, yeah,
And you're not supposed to go. And lately they've been bringing family into everything.
yeah.
Braun and CM Punk and Solo with the Wyatts, and I'm sure that's been approved by the Wyatts. I don't
Right.
think that's off the cuff, but again, not scripted. That was just a moment of the year I thought didn't look good for Tiffany.
Tiffany, yeah, and I'm sure there's probably some consequences for her on that. Real quick on the Travis Scott thing, and this just happened like last week. I'm not sure if you saw this on Booker T's podcast. Um, he was asked about the Travis Scott stuff as they were kind of reviewing the year also, and because Travis Scott was training with Booker T, so that's
Mhm.
actually where he was doing a lot of the prep work. And I'm just going to read you the quote here. Booker T said, "You know what, man? It just didn't work out. More than anything, we put so much into having these matches where you see someone like Bad Bunny or Logan Paul go out there and perform at a certain level. Jelly Roll too, but for everyone, things are different. The Travis Scott is a different type of cat. He has so much going on. It just didn't work out. They overthought it more than anything. They put the carriage before the horse, kind of thinking, oh, it's going to be a hit like the other ones, and it just didn't work out in the end. What I'm hearing him say is Jelly Roll, Bad Bunny, Logan Paul, they put in the time,
They,
they put in the
that's
effort,
right.
they committed, and Travis Scott didn't. And at a certain point, WWE was like, all right, abort, because he's not going to put in the time and energy that it takes. We can't.
Yeah, and I think that's exactly what I'm hearing. It's like Travis Scott didn't take it serious,
Yep.
or he just physically couldn't do it. One of the two, right? Because Bad Bunny was awesome, right?
Awesome.
Logan
Awesome.
Paul has been awesome.
Mhm.
Jelly Roll did the best he could. He had physical limitations, but he was there giving it his best shot.
Yep.
So, yeah, I think that's what I hear too with that. But it turns out that Travis Scott had two of the worst moments.
Yeah.
With almost taking Cody's eye out,
Yep.
and then or his ear,
His ear.
or whatever it
It
was,
was his ear.
and then this stupid long entrance at WrestleMania, and then vanishing because he, I guess, didn't have the time. So,
Yeah. The only other one I
um,
have, you got all the ones I had. The only other one I had two. And this one's a little early, I know, but the theory being the masked men or being one of the masked men, I guess. I say it's still early because I think there's still time to redeem it. I think so
yeah,
far everything I've seen I'm unhappy with. But you've mentioned last week your theory that he's a Seth Rollins plant. That would be
he
interesting.
is. I think he's going to be.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that would be interesting. Anything where there's multiple masked men and maybe you get a Randy Orton, maybe you get Montez. There could be, there's stuff that could happen that could make this okay. So far
yeah.
though, for 25, to me, this is a worse moment. And then this is going to be probably an unpopular opinion. I do not like the Io Sky and Rhea Ripley stuff.
Ooh.
It just misses me. I like them individually.
Mm-hmm.
I think Io is phenomenal, and Rhea's, behind Dirty Dom is probably my second favorite person in WWE period.
Right.
But I feel like this just doesn't do anything for her. Um,
Yeah.
so I would say for me, a worst of 25 has been the Io Sky Rhea Ripley. It started okay. It never got where it was trying to go, and now it just feels very forced.
Well, it's interesting you say that because one of the things on my best list was the triple threat match at WrestleMania with Rhea, Bianca, and
And
Io, and
Io,
Io
yeah,
winning, right?
yep,
And so the year started off great. I think if I was to say what I'm hearing you say about this is the worst part of that is they put all of these single people, single wrestlers into tag teams, and now we're sitting here struggling for Stephanie Vaquera to find a good opponent
yep,
because all of these people are involved in tag team feuds, which is probably not a great thing. I know that they
right,
were trying to bolster the tag team division, but it's like they put too much on that and didn't leave anybody else for the champions to fight with good feuds. So I think I hear what you're saying on that, but I like Io Sky a lot, and I like Rhea a lot. I think that if they weren't doing that, plus Charlotte and Alexa with the Kabuki Warriors, and we got all this, stuff going on. But I will disagree on one thing, and we'll get to it in the Raw recap. Theory. They listened. They took the goofy pants off of him this week and put him back in some cool trunks. And that theme music he had and that entrance was awesome this week. So we'll get to that later. We won't spoil that. I guess we just did.
Yeah.
But let's get to some of the best moments of 2025. Right? Let's talk about. I'll let you start with just give me a couple, and then I'll give you a couple of my best moments of 2025.
All right. So one of my best moments, in-ring moments, was the early in the year, the Braun Breaker spear on I Show Speed. That was awesome.
That was awesome.
Dude got just absolutely folded in half. It was unbelievable. And then they
Is he
showed
okay yet? Do we know if he's okay?
Man, they showed him in the back.
Yeah, he's
and
fine. He's fine.
The gash that he had on his leg is like ring burn. It looked like he was in a motorcycle accident at like 80 miles an hour or something. Like his whole skin was just ripped off. So for me, that was one of the best in-ring moments, was Breaker just hitting him at probably close to 20 miles an hour and just putting him in that spear, man. And good on the kid for taking it, man, because he knew what was coming. They showed an Unreal. They talked about it. He was like, I can take it. I'm good. And Breaker made it count, man.
Yeah, that was funny. I think that was a good moment. And at that point, I don't even know who I Show Speed is and where he got to start. I'm assuming there's a connection with Logan Paul, or no?
I have no idea.
Are they both influencers? I don't know who I Show Speed is.
Speed is an influencer,
They're streamer YouTubers.
Yeah.
Okay.
YouTuber, just like Kai Cenat and all those guys.
I know some people were wishing that was Travis Scott that got that spear, but no disrespect to Travis Scott. I'm a fiend. Fiend. But I heard that song a million times this year. So, no, that was a good moment. I think for me, I want to say, before we get into some moments, my breakout stars for 2025 were Stephanie Vaquer.
Of course.
And Dirty Dom. Dirty Dom's rising to the level of a superstar at this point.
What about Sol Ruka?
She'll be 2026.
Yeah.
Sol Ruka will be
2026.
2026.
Yeah, for sure.
She's still on the launch pad here.
Yeah.
A couple of my moments were, I'll give you some off the mat, outside of the ring deals. Signing a deal with Netflix was cool. The Rock's debut wasn't, but the just doing a deal with Netflix was interesting because you're not on TV with Raw. You're going totally streaming. And the deal with ESPN was major just for the coverage that you get. I never thought WWE would be covered as much as it was on ESPN. Now they got to change how they cover it, but that was cool. The partnership with TNA, the purchase of AAA, I think were all bright spots for the WWE. And now this is where they're at, right? With the out of the ring stuff. It's like, how do we remain relevant and awesome without the corporate feel, right? That's the thing, is when you get too corporate and you start thinking about money too much and shares and profits and all this stuff, sometimes the product suffers, and you can't forget about the people and the fans and what they want to see, and how to make superstars and how to do feuds correctly and how to do storytelling correctly. You can't forget that stuff, and we'll get into that in a little bit, but I think that making those deals was great and a launching pad for the future. That's my outside of the ring best of 2025. Now, inside the ring, I loved the actual Cena heel turn. I loved that moment with the face at Elimination Chamber, and we thought we were going to see something awesome. Now, I just had the Cena heel run as one of my worst moments because it was not done well.
Yeah.
But the actual heel turn, I loved at Elimination Chamber. And Dom winning the IC title at WrestleMania 41 was cool. I have Heyman betraying Punk and Reigns, and siding with Seth Rollins and forming the Vision. And then one other, and I'll let you go, is Seth Rollins faking the injury and then cashing in on CM Punk after Punk beat Gunther at SummerSlam. That was a big, fun moment. So you can comment on those and give me some of your best moments of 2025.
Yeah, agree completely. I had the Cena Hill. I literally said Cena Hill turn on my best, Cena Hill run on my worst. So completely agree with you there. I actually had Dom winning the IC title slash the AAA title as my number one best moment of 2025. Just dirt, like on all things Dirty Dom is
Wow.
number one. Um, and then also as the best heel, not only in WWE but in the industry. So that was also on my best list. So obviously a big Dirty Dom fan. Um, and the only other kind of but thing in that area, if we're talking about some of the one of the things that you didn't mention, off the mat, was for me a best moment was Triple H on Saturday Night Main Event, kind of
Getting
laughing
booed?
with, yeah, exactly, yeah, it just was such a Triple H thing, right? And I'm still gonna hold out hope that they use that at some point. I don't think Triple H has any desire to be on camera anymore, at least
Yeah.
not for a while. So I don't think they can capitalize on it in any sort of significant way. I did feel like this is, like you mentioned earlier, old school Triple H, old school Shawn Michaels. Like that's exactly what those dudes would like. Just lean into it. Like
Yeah.
if they're gonna make you that, just go all the way there. Just turn it into a heel moment and run with it. So I
Well,
love that.
they didn't want Cena to tap out, and
Yeah.
that was the thing. They were just hammering Triple H, and
Right.
he leaned into it and turned heel on them. So, yeah, that was a good moment. I like that. A lot of people had that as the worst
The
moment.
worst moment.
Triple
Yeah.
H laughing at the fans, but couple other ones. AJ Lee's return.
Yep.
A lot of people liked AJ Lee.
Yep.
Um, we talked.
That was on my list. AJ
A-
Lee's return.
Yeah, I think that I talked about Io Sky winning at WrestleMania 41 in the triple threat match.
Mm-hmm.
I loved Cena versus AJ Styles, the tribute match,
Yep. My
where he was giving tribute to all the people that he could in that match, and AJ was too. That was really awesome. That was at Crown Jewel in Australia, I believe, Perth, right?
yep. Perth. Yep.
Um, this one's controversial, but I thought it was great. The moment itself, Jey Uso winning the world title,
Yeah.
them giving him that, I thought was cool. Um, and that's kind of my list. I think that with the platforms that the WWE has, they're in a great position. But I think Triple H has taken some heat, and we'll get into that in a little bit. But but for me, it was all in all, the moment had the year had some really cool moments. Sustainability for feuds and storytelling has not been good this year, but some really good moments throughout 2025.
Yeah, the only other one I had all of those two. Cena versus Styles was actually my number two moment behind Dom. Um, and then you mentioned AJ Lee's return. I'm also a big Alexa Bliss fan, so her return at
Yeah.
Royal Rumble was on my list. I really like that a lot. Especially her coming out with the Bray Wyatt gear, like that was really cool. I think she had something written on the back of her jacket. I don't want to misquote it, but I know there was something there. And then the Penta. I'm a huge have turned into a huge Penta fan. He just reminds me of the theatrics and the glamour of it all. His entrance is awesome. The crowd interaction with the Zero Medio, that's awesome. And so just all that sort of return debut kind of
Yeah.
thing, like those are all really cool and still something that WWE does pretty well. Luke mentioned the Sol Ruka stuff. The guys coming in, Evans and just some Oba,
Oba Femi,
Oba,
Trick Williams.
100%. Like so,
Yeah.
that's some of the stuff that I think they still do really well is the introduction of people, the spectacle of it. It's after the fact that they kind of can't always follow up, especially because it's such a high. They almost come in too hot that it's a natural letdown. Um, but yeah, definitely AJ Lee, Alexa Bliss, and Penta as kind of debuting slash returning sort of people in 25.
Awesome. Yeah. Again, we talked about on a podcast previously about the age of the superstars and
Mm-hmm.
where are they going to when are they going to start making future superstars and who are they going to pass it off to because as these superstars age out. And I think they've got a lot of people with potential. It's just, hey, when is it going to hit? So that's our best and worst of 2025. Do you have anything else you guys want to add to that? Best, worst, and best of 2025.
Looking
All
forward.
right, we will. What's that?
Looking forward to 26.
We didn't mention Gunther at all, which I think that he's been impressive this year. But I guess we'll see where they take him now, because when we get to the Raw recap, I didn't like it with Gunther this week. But let's get into the recaps. We'll start with SmackDown recap. We're going to go quickly because SmackDown was pre-recorded, and to be honest, it was not a great show anyway. So we opened SmackDown with the Drew and Cody recap about, Cody going to his house and attacking him and making a deal with Aldis. Then we cut to Cody and Aldis backstage. Aldis says Drew signed the contract. Once he apologizes and pays the fine, Cody can't touch him. Aldis walks on after Cody leaves, and The Miz stops him. I love The Miz, so this was entertaining to me. Don't say his name. The guy you can't say his name. Miz says, don't say his name. Don't play his music. Aldis says, okay, no music for Joe Hendry. As soon as he says his name, the music hits, and Hendry's in the ring with Tozawa, Otis, the Easter Bunny, and 4 girls, right? And we'll find out who the Easter Bunny is in a minute. But he sings a song about Miz having tiny balls to the tune of Jingle Bells. And the whole crowd is really loving this. Miz interrupts in his classic way. Joe invites Miz, hey, I know why you're mad, because we started singing without you. So he invited him to sing along, and he goes and sings the song about Miz's tiny balls. Miz cuts a promo on Joe Hendry and says, hey, we got a match right now. Aldis makes it a Miracle on 34th Street match, which is kind of fun. I found this segment entertaining. The match was entertaining. And the Otis and Tozawa, is it Tozawa or Ozawa?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Get involved. And then Truth reveals he's the Easter Bunny. He hits the 5-knuckle shuffle with a bunny hop.
Bunny hop, yeah.
on Miz. Hendry blasts Miz with a guitar, puts him through a table, and pins Miz for the win. Lots of Christmas tree action here. Hitting people with Christmas trees, candy cane kendo sticks, just all the fun. I thought this was very entertaining. But again, it's a pre-recorded show. I love The Miz. I like Joe Hendry. So this did it for me. How did you feel about this?
Yeah, just kind of the same way that Luke kind of was just interacting with it now, right? It's just hard not to just feel good about it. It's a little throwback, all the ridiculousness of it was just made it that much better. And anything R-Truth and The Miz are involved in, like especially as a combo, it's gonna be good. And like I think that's the other thing that I struggle with so much of, like, so many of these current superstars are so young, or they're like, it feels like it's forced. And then you get 2 guys like that they literally don't even have to try, and they're so entertaining. So yeah, to me, this was the unfortunately the absolute highlight of the show, and it just kind of went downhill from there. But I really enjoyed this.
Yeah,
the Miz in the Grinches, the Kobe Grinches was awesome.
Yeah,
he's rocking the Grinches. I saw that.
Yeah, that was cool. I like the Grinches. I thought Otis doing the worm was a callback. I was glad to see that. Lots of fun here. And they had Tozawa. He was the elf on a shelf, I guess. He was just sitting on the turnbuckle the whole time.
Yeah.
And so fun segment. Then we go backstage with Carmelo and Fraxium and Dragunov. Dragunov says, hey, I didn't like the way that ended, so let's do a rematch tonight for the U.S. title. Flair and Bliss, Legend and Nia walking backstage. Drew walks in, and Jackie Redmond wants to talk to him. It's amazing how she knows when people are going to walk in at the exact right time, right? He says, I've been busy, I'm jet lagged, so not right now, maybe later, basically was the gist of that. Then we get a cool Aleister Black and Vega promo, pre-recorded promo on Priest. Then we cut to Saxton backstage to interview Jay Cargill. I did not like this at all. I don't understand this Mishan Cargill thing. I don't get that.
Nope.
And then B-Fab and Mishan, I guess Mishan was walking up as B-Fab was watching Cargill's interview. Strange stuff. But I don't like what they're doing with Cargill. And again, do the women's champions have opponents because they're all locked into other things, right? It's kind of weird. Then we get Lash Legend versus Charlotte Flair with Bliss and Nia Jax at ringside. We know what's going to happen. What always happens, right? Nia distracts Flair, and Lash knocks her into the turnbuckle. Then Bliss jumps on Nia Jax's back, distracts Lash. Charlotte gets the pin for the win. Shenanigans, but again, Flair with the win. Not surprises anybody there, right? So then we go backstage with Aldis and Trick Williams having a recruiting session. Trick Williams talks about, you better get ready because Raw's ponying up a lot of money. And Nick Aldis, you need to come correct. And then they get interrupted by Cody asking, hey, has Drew paid the fine yet? Are we good? And then Trick does a little face-off with Cody. Says, hey, I might be coming for your title, whatever that may be. Solo in the MFT's pre-recorded promo on Uncle Howdy and the Wyatt Six. Again, Solo using a lot of Bray Wyatt's deal, whistling. He's got the whole world in his hands. All that stuff. I still don't care enough about that feud. Maybe I'll get there. Then a highlight for me was this Dragunov Hayes match. I thought it was awesome. Hayes becomes the new champion after hitting the first 48 and a nothing but net. I thought this was a really good match, and the other matches they've had have been great as well. But Hayes comes out. We got a new U.S. champion for the men's. Anything on any of that I've said so far that you want to comment on?
Honestly, not really. I mean, the Carmelo Hayes getting the U.S. title, like that's pretty cool. And just his anytime a guy gets an individual title, obviously Hayes has had some down in NXT, but that moment was pretty cool. Just watching his reaction and seemed pretty genuine. Outside of that, though, man, this all feels so clustered. It feels so rushed and convenient, and there's nothing that's drawing me into any of this.
Well, at least Flair wrestled Legend and not Bliss, right?
Again.
They didn't send Bliss out again, right?
Yeah.
And speaking of that, we go backstage with Bliss and Flair. They're interrupted by EO and Rhea saying, hey, we got a shot at the tag titles next Monday. And then Lash and Nia Jax show up, and then the Kabuki Warriors show up. We got them all there. And Aldis and security are separating them. And then he makes an 8-woman tag match for next SmackDown, which is the 3-hour SmackDown, I believe, is coming. And so now we get all 8 of them. And at that point, we're not going to know who's the tag champions at that point. Is it going to be Rhea and EO? Is it going to be the Kabuki Warriors? But this is that cluster you were talking about earlier. A lot of nothing here. Just kind of, go home, I guess, before the go home SmackDown.
Yeah.
I guess. Then we get a really quick interview with Carmelo Hayes, and he's attacked by Johnny G from DIY. And I guess that's going to be the next thing for Carmelo Hayes, which I'm not really interested in that.
Nope.
I don't like that. Anything to say on any of this so far?
The women's tag division, I had mentioned a couple weeks ago that my kind of fantasy booking was that this would turn into a TLC. Payoff for all of this would be a triple threat and even a 4-way. I can see them using all 4 groups to have a TLC.
You think Nash and Legend can be in a TLC?
I don't think so, but I think you've included them so frequently. I think Lash could for sure. I think she can probably, do a little something. But with them seemingly painted off on SmackDown, I don't really see how you then get back to the TLC. So it just kind of sucks that the payoff to all, theoretically the payoff to all of this is going to be, just an 8-woman, even if they do it in the main event. That's just.
Well, you're assuming it's a payoff. They could take this all the way to WrestleMania.
I hope not.
I know the thing is they need to get some women back in the championship hunt for the women's title. So maybe there's a way that they're doing this to maybe Rhea and EO will separate. Charlotte and Bliss might separate. I don't know how they're going to do it.
Yeah.
But I've seen enough of this interaction to last me a lifetime, I think. Then we get Who Cares match with Chelsea Green and Alba Fire versus Julia and Kiana James. I've tried to care about Julia and Kiana James. I think I care more about Kiana James and what she's bringing to the table. Julia's great in the ring. It's just the character's not resonating with me.
No.
And I love Chelsea Green, but again, this was a really quick match. Julia pins Chelsea Green clean for the win here. I don't know that this does anything for anybody. We just don't care about Julia and Chelsea Green.
No.
And I think that they could do other things with Chelsea Green that we would like better. But Julia's a great in-ring performer. Kiana James is better than I thought. Any comments on that really quick match?
Yeah, I just don't understand what the hope would be there. Like you said, this kind of feels like it hurts everybody. Chelsea can only do so much. Like, it feels like from a entertainment standpoint, because you're right, those girls can work in the ring. The in-ring stuff is fine, but
yeah,
when so much of it is built, like we've talked about so many times before, on the sports entertainment component of this, Chelsea's doing everything she can to drag them along in that department, and then for her to lose clean, like, you're just hurting everybody here, and so I don't get it, don't like it, nothing about it makes sense to me.
Luke, are you awake? You listening to us?
What?
No, come on, man.
No, I mean, I don't have anything to say about SmackDown this week, really. I just can't wait for that 3-hour episode, man.
Come on. What a party pooper. All right,
I'm just being honest.
Well, come on, man.
I don't care about the MFTs.
I'm going to turn your camera off if you're not going to contribute.
All right, dude, the MFTs and I mean, I'm just not interested in a lot of the stuff going on, other than, I guess Cody Rhodes and.
Yeah, we're about to get to that. Segment. Maybe you'll contribute right here.
All right.
All this is backstage with Kit Wilson, there's a new Kit Wilson, right? And then he's back there with Kit Wilson and the ref, Dan, what's his name? I don't remember his last name. Cody, the one that Drew's supposed to apologize to. Cody walks up, and talks about, oh, hey, Aldis, where's he at? Let's go. And then Drew's music hits. Drew is making his entrance. Aldis tells Cody, let me handle this and control your emotions. And then Aldis heads to the ring as Drew is also making his entrance. Drew apologizes to the ref, Dan, and pays the fine. And then he rips Dan a new one about, basically takes his manhood from him, talks about he apologizes to his wife that she has such a wimp of a husband and his children. It was kind of entertaining. I love me Drew McIntyre. I love me some Drew McIntyre. So he just tears him up up and down. Questions his manhood, and then Cody's music hits and he comes out. Drew goes right away to taunting Cody, daring him to hit him. Come on, take a shot. Aldis warns Cody as Drew continues to rip and taunt him. And this is where it gets good now. We talked about this family stuff coming up. Drew mentions Cody's wife and his children, which I think he only has one child, right?
He only has one, yeah.
But Drew said his children. Aldis is holding him back. Drew announces this match is going to be in Germany because you screwed me already here in America. It's going to be a 3 stages of hell match. That was the bomb. Cody agrees immediately, like that's nothing, right? And then Drew says, one more thing. When I send you straight to hell, say hello to your dad for me. And that was awesome. That was a great moment. And then Cody's, going crazy. And then he hits Cody with the Claymore. Show ends.
Yeah.
So to me, this is the best thing on the show other than The Miz and Hendry.
Yeah.
I love the Cody and Drew feud. Some people don't like it, but I think Drew is... You said Dom is the number 1 heel. I think Drew is probably the number 2 heel right now. I'm not really into the Vision yet as heels, but we'll get to that in a minute with Raw. But I liked this segment. I liked the emotion of it. I liked the way Drew attacked it. What do you think about it?
Yeah, it's a cut and paste, every top to bottom. I think there's such a right way of invoking those names. If you're gonna do the Bray Wyatt stuff, I'm sure that they got the permission, and it's meant to be heat-seeking missiles, but because we don't care enough about that storyline, it's just the shock value of that man versus a contribution to the story. In this one, it feels like there's so much intention behind it, and it just elevates it so much more because they've put the work in, and because, at least seemingly, for me personally, I'm drawn into it. It just adds to it so much more. So
Yeah.
from a story standpoint, for me in all of WWE, this is the top story in all of WWE. I mentioned the Miz and Truth being kind of the highlight of the show for me. It was just entertaining. It was so entertaining that
Yeah.
was definitely the thing that I remembered. But from a story progression standpoint, this is the kind of stuff that I love. It makes me want to see what happens next. Anytime I'm like, God, I can't wait for next week for this thing. That's the kind of stuff that I really lean into. So Drew's doing great
Yeah.
work. I agree with you completely. If Dom's number one, Drew's definitely number two. And if anyone said Drew's number one, I'm not gonna fight it too hard. I still think it'd be Dom, but I won't put up too much of a fuss because Drew's doing awesome work right now.
Yeah, and the thing is, we care about it. The emotions are there. Now, this is this is an old storyline where, hey, you can't touch me, and I'm going to taunt you all the
100%.
way until that. I mean, so but has a little fresh take to it. The personal, making it personal, was good because he knows that that's what's going to get Cody. Just like when Cody said to Roman about his grandfather would be ashamed, all
Yep.
that stuff. So that's kind of where we're going here. But I really like this feud. I think that it's sad that this is. I think if you look at the whole show, that's the only thing that really moved the needle forward. The women's tag team stuff is just the same stuff.
Yeah.
Um, we've got maybe a new feud with Miz and Hendry, a brief one. You got the end of Dragunov as the champ and Hayes taking over, so that he's going to start something new. You got, that's pretty much it. So
Yeah. C minus.
yeah, 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 barely a C minus because Cody, Drew, and Miz and Hendry.
Right.
But so we get on to Raw last night. We got the Vision in the ring, and Paul Heyman is tired of the CM Punk chants. He's just really put out by this, and he's trying to go back and forth with the crowd. It's not really great. It's not going over great. And then CM Punk's music hits, and then here comes the old, hey, well, why don't you get rid of your goons and meet me face to face like a man? And then there's some back and forth, and then they finally back away and they invite CM Punk in. I thought Logan Paul brushing off the ring was a nice little touch, although I guess Logan Paul's now the lapdog. I don't know. We'll get to that in a minute. CM Punk enters, and then we have a Punk and Braun Breaker promo battle, standoff style. And one of the things I really noticed here was Braun Breaker shaking a lot with that microphone in his hand, which I guess is to be expected. But honestly, I thought this was Braun's best promo. I didn't like CM Punk's retort promo at all. Really, I thought it was some of CM Punk's worst work. And maybe it was intentional to make Braun Breaker look good. But I liked where Braun Breaker took this promo, talking about, hey, everybody thinks I got things handed to me because of my lineage, but it really made I had to work harder, all that stuff. And I know you don't think I'm ready and I don't deserve it. And then CM Punk tried to do the swerve. No, I know you're ready, but I'm not ready to give up this title. That was a nice touch. But if you ask me to pick a winner, I think on this promo, Braun won. On the previous promos, I think Punk won.
I think, though, I agree with you, but there is 99.9% of me feels like this was an intentional dive by Punk. This feels like just him trying to help Braun along. And the irony here is Braun asking for the old CM Punk. He wants the old Punk. He wants the guy. He really doesn't, though. Like, he doesn't want the flame throwing, pipe bombing CM Punk, because this would have looked entirely different, right? Like, that
he
is
can't compete with that.
no,
Yeah.
and it to me.
What's happening though? Hold on a second. I got to stop you here. What have we come to? So we got to soften up everything because these guys can't rise to the occasion. I mean, John Cena made Roman Reigns almost cry because the way he called him out. And he called The Rock out for writing this promo on his wrist. It's like, what have we gone soft here? No, Braun, I hope it wasn't an intentional dive because that would really piss me off. Because it's like, now I have to water down my deal because you can't step up to the level. That's not what we need in wrestling. We need them to make those guys earn it. And we're not going to crown them just because they think we should crown him. I remember when Roman Reigns was the guy and nobody wanted Roman Reigns to be the guy and he had to go earn it. And it's sort of like Braun Breaker now. Braun Breaker, has he earned it? I don't know. But in this promo battle, I don't want watered down CM Punk. And if what you're saying is true and it was an intentional dive, that is a travesty in my mind.
Well, that's how the world is now a little bit. Like it's just like kind of soft now. Like I don't know. I think that's just kind of the era we're living in now. Like everything's kind of watered down and like we can't step on toe. That's another reason why I really liked I like where it left off, where SmackDown left off with Cody Rhodes. Like I like that they're kind of crossing the line a little bit, like because that's how it was back kind of when I grew up watching a little before that. Yeah, like I feel like CM Punk should just take over and be like you're a good wrestler or whatever, but you still have a lot to learn and you're not ready yet. Like, and I'm gonna show everybody and make you look foolish and make you go back to the drawing board and try again next time.
Yeah, like he could figuratively take Braun Breaker over his knee, and he's yet to do that. Like he really hasn't.
I don't know. He did the last promo was pretty strong with Punk. I think it was the last one.
It was the last one, yeah. It was
pretty strong.
It was really good. But again, like if you go back and like even the stuff in AEW when he's going, like go watch what he does to MJF. Like you're the less famous Miz, the you can't see me man, the king of, like he is just those promos, like
it's a kinder, gentler Punk.
100%,
we don't like that.
100%. And it feels like the perfect storm. It feels like Punk knows his futures with WWE. It feels like he has aspirations of being involved, whether it's with NXT, whether it's with just the rising crop and wanting to give back to the program and the industry. That's great. I get all of that. But the problem with that is now he becomes a company man. Now he's got to be company first. And so that's why I think this is an intention.
Becomes more like John Cena.
Yeah, it's a little bit more.
It's funny.
We get two politicians sitting across from each other talking, right?
Full circle.
100%. And so I all that to say, man, I just think this did not feel like CM Punk going for the throat, like especially in a face-to-face like that with that audience. So, I just don't. It hasn't drawn me in the same way that Drew and Cody have because it doesn't feel as visceral.
Well, his catchphrase when he comes out is sort of like ours. It's a great day to be alive on the Dead Jeff show. Well, he talks about it's a great day to be alive on Monday night in whatever city they're in. Yeah. I think that needs to go away a little bit for him. To me, Punk is a legend on the mic, and you can't do that. And I think the right thing for them to do now that they booked themselves into this corner is they're going to have to give Braun Breaker the title.
Yeah.
I think it makes better sense to have Punk chase it again.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't like that. I think it's too early for Braun Breaker to have the title. And so, but they've booked themselves into a corner, and I think that's probably the best way to salvage this is to give it to him, maybe with some probably the old bloodline solution. Let's just interfere our way to the championship.
Yep.
Something to that degree, and then have Punk chase it to WrestleMania again, I guess. But I hope what you said is not true and that maybe Punk was just off that night. I would rather believe that than believe he took a dive because that would really fire me up, be honest with you.
Here's how we'll know. I think the way that we'll know for sure, maybe not for sure, but the really good indication of what I'm saying is correct is going to be if we get the frenemies storyline with Seth Rollins and CM Punk. If at some point we get a triple threat or we get some sort of Vision / Rollins / Punk, where Punk and Rollins are teaming in any sense
I'm
of
not
the
interested in that.
100%
I want them
no.
to hate each other. I want them to
Especially
hate
with
each
their
other.
history, right? Like that was
Yeah.
real legitimate heat between those two guys for like a decade. But
Yeah.
I would be willing to put a large sum of money on the fact that at some point we're
Yeah.
going to get a Punk Rollins frenemies kind of storyline, and it's going to be awful.
I hope not. Again, I hope you're wrong again because I don't want. I'm not interested in that. Not yet. Not yet. We need them to hate each other and actually get this feud started back up again.
Yeah.
We move on to Raquel being interviewed, and I guess that Liv can only talk to Raquel when she's doing interviews. This is weird. She interrupts her again, and right there takes her moment away, and they talk about hey, we're sisters. I want you to win. I'm here to. And Raquel's like, I don't need your help. And she goes, well, I was talking to Roxanne, and then Roxanne's right there,
Yeah.
just all of a sudden. So it's a little cheesy, little cheesy. I don't like the way they do that. It's like you can see her; she's right there. We can't suspend disbelief that much.
Yeah.
And then there's this Judgment Day girl drama that she says, I want to do this by myself. They're trying to turn Raquel face a little bit. It looks like, and Liv and I guess Roxanne will be the heels. I don't like Judgment Day anymore. They need to do away with Judgment Day, especially with Dom's hurt, JD's hurt. Finn needs to go back to the Demon. We talked about that last week. But this was just more Judgment Day girl drama, and it leads right into the triple threat match for the women's title, which is Vicaire, Nikki Bella, and Raquel Rodriguez, right? This match was good. I thought it was fine. Nikki Bella went back to her old look with this Philadelphia Eagles colors, which was, I don't know why. I liked the black and the heelish other look better. So maybe that was a clue. We're coming to an end of her heel run already, which we'll see. But she was good in the match. Stephanie Vicaire was better. Raquel, they made her look like a star. Most of this match. The way it finished was cool. She's going to go up with a double Tejano bomb, but Stephanie Vicaire slips out, and so she gives the bomb to Nikki Bella, and then Stephanie Vicaire throws Raquel out of the ring. I thought she was going to roll her up for a pin, but actually threw her out of the ring. That was cool. And then pinned Nikki Bella for the win. Stephanie Vicaire retains the title. And maybe that's the end of Nikki Bella, Stephanie Vicaire. Now we got Raquel Rodriguez. Good match. Better than I thought it would be. And they made Raquel look good here. And Bella, she held her own. I thought it was a good match.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. I think they're we talked earlier about the Chelsea Green stuff, and it's like, who does this help? Almost feels like it hurts everybody. In this case, like, you definitely help two of the three here. Vicaire looked great. She got to showcase her obvious talent. She's got the phenomenal look. She gets the win over Nikki. And then, like you said, Raquel looked like $1 million here. They protected her. She didn't get pinned. She doesn't lose. Doesn't even really find herself ever in she's in a pinning predicament like we get in some of these 3-ways where it's like, well, if not for the interference, she would have been beat there. So I think in this respect, Vicaire was certainly helped. Raquel was really, really helped. And I don't think this hurts Nikki at all, just because of her status. So this was done well. And I can get into a Raquel Vicaire matchup. I think that makes a lot of sense.
Clash of Styles, right?
Yeah, for sure. Clash of Styles. And I would need to look at the upcoming, but if there's anything in Latin America coming up anytime in the next 3 months, like, put those two in a promo on Smackdown and then let them go just tear the house down on a PLE. Like, that would be really, really cool for the just really for the industry, but then also just for, like, we saw it in Puerto Rico with Zelina Vega in a loss to Rhea. Just get a hero's welcome I
Yeah,
think
that was cool.
I think Vaquero and Raquel could do something like that if and again I don't know what the schedule looks like, but I'm
Right.
interested in it for sure.
Yeah. Gunther interview backstage about disrespecting Cena. He's interrupted by Truth, who says it's got to stop. He wants a match with Gunther. He's going to show him some respect, and he's going to beat the disrespect out of him. Whispered something into Gunther's ear. He says Gunther just laughs at him, but we're going to get a match with Gunther and R-Truth out of this. Then we go to Kabuki Warriors promo, and the only way I can describe this is it's like a promo in Japanese anime, right? It's almost like they merged, and I actually liked it. It was unusual, and I liked it, but the lines, just when you make out, oh, big baby, just funny stuff in it. But it made me think if wrestling was anime, this would be what we would see, right? Um, and then of course Rhea and Io come out to confront them, and they get into another altercation. What do you think about any of this so far? Gunther and Kabuki Warriors and Io and Rhea.
I hope they don't overstay the welcome of Gunther and the Cena thing, because Cena's not coming back. Like we know, at least we assume, and I certainly believe this to be true.
He's not.
He's
Yeah.
not coming. He is not walking back through those doors. Certainly not as a
No.
performer. You might get some spot appearances here and there down the road, just as like
He's an ambassador.
ambassador,
Yeah.
100%, as like a goodwill ambassador. So the fact that
Yeah.
they're leaning into this so much, like this does not need to become Gunther's identity. Like the whole legend killer Randy Orton thing, like that was his identity for so long, and it took a long time after the fact when they were clearly ready to be beyond it. It took a minute for them to get away from it. Now with Gunther, you're running the risk of doing this to him. He's just going to be the Cena guy. Like he's going to be the guy that retired Cena. And if Gunther is what seemingly they've always wanted him to be, and
Yeah.
he's had great praise from some of the all-time greats, like Taker saying he's his favorite right now, and it's a lot of guys
Yeah.
that have been very, praising Gunther very hard. You got to be careful here, man. It's a lot of Cena stuff. It's dead. It's over. He did it. Maybe another week or two, but then let's move past this. It's starting to get a little
Yeah.
too much.
This is probably a hot take, but I think Gunther is so boring to me. Like I'm not a big fan of him at all. I
Well,
don't
he's
know.
a throwback wrestler. That's
Yeah.
probably why.
Yeah,
Very
I
throwback.
don't know. I've said this before on the show. Like I like more of the gimmicky stuff.
Yeah.
So that's probably why I think he's kind of
There's
boring.
no gimmick with Gunther. He's all
Yeah, he's just
all-
like
yeah.
straight,
Straight
business,
ahead,
and
yeah.
it's just kind of like, I mean, it works. It works for like, obviously, I like Randy Orton. He's not, I guess, gimmicky, but those kind of guys. But I don't know, something about him is just kind of, I don't know. He's just kind of boring to me.
They've kind of given the legend killer gimmick to Gunther at this
yeah.
point, and I don't, there's only one legend killer, and that's Randy Orton. Now maybe we can get a feud between those two. That would be sweet.
Yeah.
RKO would cook him. Put him in a blender and cook him.
So we do get Gunther versus R-Truth, and one thing I'll say about this, Gunther's coming out in some new robe. He doesn't have the big, shoulder
Jacket.
pads,
Yeah,
soldier looking jacket. It's now more of a robe.
Yeah.
I don't know, for lack of a better term. One of the things that I thought about putting on the worst list was, remember when R-Truth's contract came up and he came back as Ron Killings,
yep.
and he cut his hair?
Mm-hmm.
His hair looks awful now. I bet he wishes he didn't do that, because his hair, it's like, dude, you just shave it off now.
Yeah.
It just looks terrible. I feel bad for him. But Gunther, this was basically a squash match. R-Truth had a couple spots. Gunther was toying with him, pulls him up off the pin, then puts him in the sleeper. Truth eventually taps out. This was just a squash match, and Gunther laughing and mocking Cena. And you're right, they got to be careful with that. They got to be careful with that, because it's already getting old to me a little bit. So let's just move on, right? Then we get a backstage locker room promo from the Usos. Jimmy's hyped, but Jade's down in the dumps, man. He's in a bad spot, talking about it's been a bad year. He don't want to bring Jimmy down, and Jimmy's trying to fire him up, tell him, I need you, Us, I need you to show up. Let's do this. And then finally, I guess Jay gets hyped and says, okay, I'm ready. And Then we cut to AJ and Dragon Lee and Javon Evans backstage. Again, just talking about their match with Leon Slater and Javon Evans, saying, "Hey, we need to run it back." Well, I don't know where I'm going to be. Smackdown and Raw. That's Javon Evans, and then they get interrupted by the El Grande Americano team, and he does it. I'm assuming this is Ludwig.
Yeah.
And he does a promo in Spanish, which the funny Javon and AJ is like, "I don't know what he said." He goes, "That's what I'm saying." And then you have Dragon Lee trying to tell him what he said. This was funny, but nothing to me, right? I like El Grande. I like those guys. Essentially, we'll see what happens if Chad Gable comes back. How they're gonna? Are they just gonna act like he was never in it, or is it gonna be, he joins up with them? So, then we go back to the Vision backstage, and we see Theory's new look. He's got the black trunks, black boots, black wristbands, or whatever. And they're hyping him up. And Logan Paul says, "I'm not the most humble guy." And then Paul Heyman's like, "Oh, you are." And he goes, "Well, I am. That and their interaction is awesome. I love their interaction. I don't like Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed. I can deal with, but I just wish Logan Paul was getting this push that Braun Breaker was getting. That's my wish. If you've heard this podcast before, you know that. But I like that interaction. So Paul's going to have Theory's back. He's going to go out to the ring with him for his match with Rey Mysterio. All right. So we come to the ring, and Theory has a awesome new theme song and entrance. That's the first thing I noticed. It was awesome. He looked great. He looks much better than those stupid pants he had, and so I thought he looked good in the ring too.
Yeah.
With Rey, and then for some reason, Logan decides to get DQ'd and push Rey off the ropes right in front of the ref. That was a little strange. The ref saw it and rang the bell immediately, and Theory loses, and I guess there's a question is who's going to be taking all the losses for the Vision. Is it going to be Theory? Is it going to be Bronson Reed? Is it going to be Logan Paul? It's probably going to be Theory or Paul, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it probably won't make Paul do it, but I just worry about what, like you said, this masked man with Theory, how that's going to play out, because this is Rey Mysterio. They could give him a win over Rey.
Mm-hmm.
Rey doesn't need the win. So they get a DQ, Logan Paul interferes, and then they start beating down Rey. And then your boy, the guy you love, Penta's music hits, and he's back. He's in jeans and street clothes, but he's got his mask on.
Of course.
And lucha style, baby.
Yep.
And he heads to the ring, although if you look closely, I think he botched a move in his jeans there with the Hurricane Rana.
He did, for sure.
And he looked
doing
a little
Hurricane Rana in jeans.
Yes, it's a tough move.
yeah. So I don't. To me, I was like, ugh, he's a little rusty, I guess.
Yeah.
Coming back and having to. Yeah, why would they put him in jeans?
Right.
That didn't make sense.
Right.
But the point was he's there for Rey. He makes the save. He's got Rey's back. And Rey and Penta are there. They celebrate in the ring. What did you think about all of that stuff, from Usos to AJ and Dragon Lee to Mysterio and Theory, Vision, Logan Paul?
Yeah, I think for me the Vision stuff, like you mentioned this, and I couldn't agree more. Like I really wish, and hindsight's always 20/20, but like if you were gonna put Logan Paul, if you're gonna take the Maverick out of the Maverick role, right? If you're gonna put him with people, it would have been so much better if it was just him and Heyman riffing off of each other and doing their interactions, and the comedic timing of Logan Paul. Like he's so witty with some of that stuff, and it almost feels like Bronson and certainly Braun at times are slowing him down. Like it almost feels like the ebb and flow of it is just kind of coming backwards a little bit. So I don't love that. Watching Penta come down in street gear but having the mask on was such a throwback. And the thing that I actually immediately thought of, and I don't know why I thought about this, but I had heard a story a long time ago about and I'm sure most people know it, but like Rey Mysterio, when Bischoff decided to unmask him in WCW, it was because like Jennifer Aniston or some famous actress had saw Mysterio without the mask, and just fell in love with him and thought he was, so good looking. And so Bischoff, being who he is, was like, unmask him, show the crowd, show everybody who he is. We'll sell more money that way. And like, it's just such a, when you see Penta coming out like that, it's like, that's what you, and even at the airports, like there's pictures, if you see pictures of people with him at the airport, he's got his mask on at the airport. Like if he's in public, he's got his mask on. Like that's old school. I love it. I love everything about it. And I agree with you about the Theory music and the repackaging of just his look. Still don't think that they're, even this, like the intentional DQ is so weird. Like I don't understand
well,
that.
maybe that's Logan not wanting him to get the shine. Maybe that will be planting the seeds of that and the jealousy. Maybe.
That's what I was gonna say. It sounds like maybe a like a seed or something like you're saying.
It's
That's
a little doubt.
That's the first thing I thought of.
A little doubt.
Yeah.
And that could work, but I've said it before. I like Theory. I've always liked Theory. I like his in-ring work. It just feels like they're doing him a disservice here. Hopefully it gets turned around. I'm actually genuinely hopeful that he is a plant, or there is something coming.
It's got to be. It's got to be.
Yeah.
Well, maybe that's why they're not pushing
It could
Logan
be,
Paul.
and
they're pushing Breaker instead, because maybe they're going to use him, down the line
in that space.
So
I hope so. I mean, I'm not just writing it off because I know something. There may be more, twists and turns, but just on its own, Penta awesome. The end to this match not so great, and then Jimmy and Jay, I think they're doing.
Hype. They got to get Jimmy. Jimmy's got to get Jay hyped for the match.
Right. They're kind of falling back into the old, Stockton and Malone routine, which is fine. It's where they need to be right now.
Jay's got to feel bad. He went from top of the mountain to where do I? I'm back where I started, right? So he's a little down in the dumps. Here's what I wish. There's a guy in World Class. I don't know if you know Gino Hernandez, right? The handsome half-breed, Gino Hernandez. I wish that's what they do with Logan Paul. Give him, and Gino was sort of known as the poor man's Ric Flair. Now, Gino died mysteriously, some think. He had a big cocaine problem, but he was all the cocky, arrogant one that if they give Logan Paul the Gino Hernandez gimmick, which, they had him in suits and sunglasses, and I am your champion was his big catchphrase. But I could see some of that Gino Hernandez, Ric Flair type gimmick with Logan Paul would be awesome. I think he's very funny, and I think he's very talented, and I don't know that they know what to do with him yet, but I'm going to choose to believe what Luke said. There's a long-term plan here.
Yeah.
And I'd still believe Theory is a plant by Seth Rollins, and that's going to really, implode the vision. And we'll see if maybe this was a seed to that. Maybe there'll be some jealousy here. But it looked like after the match, Theory was cool with Logan. He didn't have any problem with him DQing and the match being over. But let's move on. We had a recorded promo from Io and Rhea. Again, good promo. But we've seen this before, right? Then we get Maxine Dupree comes out with the Intercontinental title, and she's got that aggressive gimmick. We got to take her seriously now. After 4 or 5 weeks of training with Natalya, she's found it, or whatever it is. And to be fair, she's trained with others before that, but this new thing is with Natalya, right? And then Becky Lynch comes out in her big red fur coat. And Becky's funny. The crowd still was a little mixed reaction for Becky, which I think is sad because Becky's doing some good work here.
Great work, yeah.
And Maxine Dupree, I don't know if, we kind of like that they're taking her and giving her an edge, but is it believable? That's my question to you guys. Do you believe it? Do you think that, I think Becky, they have to give her the title back. That's what I think in this situation. They have, again, the face is better chasing.
Yeah.
But Becky, I think it's better for her to have the title than Dupree.
She certainly does more with it. And I think the face chasing always is going to make more sense. I will say, if they can draw this out, and I think Becky's more than capable, I don't like the crowds that are missing when I know the overwhelming thought process is positive, like it's against the
Yeah.
crowd. So I'm trying not to put too much stock in that. I think Becky can carry this out. At least another cycle or two, another PLE or two, and then take it back from her going more into Mania season. Um,
Well,
you know,
Becky had a Arthur Fonzarelli moment. Do you know who Arthur Fonzarelli is, Nick?
is that the Fonz? Is that
Yeah. Do you know who the Fonz is?
yeah? Happy Days, yeah.
Okay, Luke, you know who the Fonz is?
Of course, I know who the Fonz is. You're my dad, so I have to know who the Fonz is.
Hey, so the Fonz used to have a problem saying the word "I was wrong" or "I'm sorry." He couldn't do it. He couldn't say it right. He couldn't do it right.
Yeah.
So Becky had that same issue with Maxine Dupree. Couldn't give her credit for being better. So I think some people, even Sports Illustrated, think that Becky Lynch is one of the best of all time.
Mm-hmm.
So you got one of the best of all time going up against an upstart upcomer who's been training seriously. I don't think they can let her beat Becky again. That just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. So hopefully they'll let Becky go over when this match happens on January 5th, which is next Monday.
Yeah.
Good little promo battle, but to me, I think I like Becky Lynch better.
Mm-hmm.
I like the turn from Maxine Dupree with the character, but we got to flesh that out a little more. We've got to make that go a little ways before we
Mm-hmm.
can start crowning her. But anyway, nice little battle. Then we go backstage with Trick and Adam Pearce. They're negotiating, talking terms. And then Lyra and Bailey walk up, and Bailey, for some reason, is yelling and calling him a bald idiot and saying they want next. Hey, I beat who did she beat last week? Not Roxanne. Not I can't remember. But they want to be next, and Lyra's trying to smooth it over as Bailey's yelling, and Pierce is like, you don't have to yell, I'm right here, right? So some of that stuff, and then he finishes off the segment with somebody get me a drink.
Yeah.
Which I like Adam Pearce a lot, honestly. But
Yeah.
again, this was, Trick Williams backstage negotiating with both Nick Aldis and, on SmackDown, and then he was here with Adam Pearce. They're doing a good job of that. Like, what show are they going to go to? Him and Javon Evans, and so I did like that. I did like this back and forth. But Bailey and Lyra, this is another women's tag thing, right? It's like, how many of these tag teams are we gonna deal with? Anyway. Then they hype up the January 5th anniversary show on Netflix and the Stranger Things crossover,
Mm-hmm.
which might be a lot. They only hype up 3 matches. It's Io and Rhea versus Kabuki Warriors. It's Maxine Dupree versus Becky Lynch for the women's IC title. And it's CM Punk versus Braun Breaker for the world title.
Yep.
That's all they've announced so far. I'm sure there'll be other things. But then we get to the main event, which is AJ Styles and Dragon Lee versus the Usos. And there were some moments in this match where Jay did some heelish things, all in the interest of winning the tag team titles. And of course, the Usos get the win, and they're the tag team champs, I think, for the 9th time.
9 times.
Is that right?
That's right.
So all is right with the world, right? Jay's happy again. Jimmy's happy again. Usos are the tag team champs. I hope they don't go back to the face paint. Remember that? The Uso face paint?
Oh, yeah.
So that was SmackDown.
Raw.
That was Raw. Sorry. Yeah, that was Raw. What'd you think of Raw?
Better than SmackDown, but not by much. I think there are pockets of this that are at least breadcrumby. At least we're leaving some idea that we can get somewhere. If I gave SmackDown a C-, this is maybe a C to C+. Still not great. I do think the Usos winning the titles, especially if we're going to get more of a little bit of a heelish run from them.
Mm-hmm.
I like the idea of them being kind of stuck in the middle somewhere, not necessarily face, not necessarily heel. That's good.
Yeah.
It's probably good for the tag division also. The match was fine. I mean, I think, AJ Styles and Dragon Lee,
It was a great match.
Yeah, you can't go wrong there, right? Like it's good. I feel like
Usos always deliver.
yeah. So it was all good. Again, I think as an overall product, I'm still just waiting for more than it felt like for a period of time, especially early in the Triple H era, um, it almost was old school where like you can't even turn off a segment. It's like every segment, I'm like, man, I can't even get up. I got to stay
Yeah.
locked into what's going on. And now it's like there's 2 or 3 that'll keep me there, and the rest of them, like, okay,
Right.
I can get on my phone, or I don't have to pay attention, you know. And so I think
Well,
I'm
you can
just
always pause it now, right?
right.
So
Yeah, yeah, and sometimes they don't even want to do that. So
yeah.
I think overall, though, Raw slightly better than SmackDown. I am looking forward to next week. I think they always go all out for these
Yeah.
kind of major marquee events. So we'll see. And I agree. I think my one prediction for next week will be that Breaker. Sounds like you're in the same boat. Sounds like Breaker will take the strap from Punk.
They're gonna have to now. They've kind of booked themselves into a corner, I believe.
Yeah.
I think I'm about the same on this as I was with SmackDown, so probably C minus.
Yeah.
Maybe C plus, like you said.
Yeah.
It's interesting they gave the Usos the tag straps back before Roman Reigns comes back, and my question is, where is Roman Reigns? Right? How's he going to fit into this picture moving forward? Now that the Usos have the gold again, what do you think? Where is Roman Reigns in this situation?
Yeah, I don't know, man, but I am looking up just to get an idea of, and this is total conjecture because it's partly AI, partly just a couple of quick articles that I'm looking up. But it says that he's got around 50 dates per year. That's the rough estimate on Reigns' contract. Do you have any idea how few dates 50 dates are? Like,
It's less than once a week. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, that's insane, right? And if you think about 2 shows,
You got 8 or 10 pay-per-views or PLEs. Now you're down to 40 dates.
Right.
Spread out over 50 weeks. So,
and you've got 2 weekly episodic shows, so there's more there. So I mean, it's just I don't even know, like at this point, especially given the way TKO seems to be going, there's a very real possibility that they're looking at, hey, if you're not going to be, and I can see them having done this with Logan Paul, like, hey, either give us a full-time schedule or we got to think about, like, because the money is not worth the investment, right? Like the gone are the days of the spectacle of like at that level of like part-time guys.
well, you're forgetting his whole championship run. That's what he did. So it's the whole long title reign. If you look at the number of actual defenses he had, it's kind of insulting. But it's amazing to me that he didn't show up to Cena's farewell match or
right.
final match. He's not involved in any of the storylines. Sure, maybe he'll be on the Netflix anniversary show. I imagine he'll show up. I'm not sure how and when and why, but Royal Rumble is right around the corner. So I just don't know what they're doing with Roman Reigns and where he fits in. And it's kind of annoying because with the way these storylines are going, we need Roman Reigns back to make it interesting again. And maybe that's what he always kind of said is, I make this place go, and Cody's QB1. There's not room for me right now, and maybe I don't know. It's just interesting that Roman has not been around very much at all, and the Usos winning the tag titles and going through all this turmoil. He's nowhere to be found.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's just it's more indicative of the fact that at least in the immediate, he's not part of the storytelling plans.
Yeah.
Again, maybe we get him on a road to WrestleMania, but I think that even at this point now, with how little he's been around, and given the state of things, like even if you put him in a program with Cody to get to Mania, I'm starting to lose hope that we can do that in any way that I care to see. It's not Reigns Lesnar, it's not Austin Rock. Like, I don't know if I need to see this for a third time now.
Well, are they going to bring him back as a face? Is he going to turn heel? I mean, that's the question, right? It's just we don't know because there's been nothing. I mean, what has Roman Reigns had for a storyline in all of 2025? It's not been fantastic. So, and that leads me to my last question for this episode. I just asked where's Roman Reigns, but is Triple H in trouble here with his storytelling? Has he gotten a little bit too predictable? Do you think he's lost the mojo?
I think yes, I think he has. I think it's too predictable. It's too short-sighted. Doesn't feel with there's exceptions, right? I'm speaking in generalities. There's
Yeah.
exceptions. The Drew Cody stuff is certainly a long-term thing. It feels like Theory stuff is probably going to be a little bit more of a long-term thing. But by and large, it's been short-sighted. It's been clustered. It's not been great. On the flip side of that, if the question is Triple H in trouble? They're doing record gates everywhere they go. They're making the most money in the history of
Yeah.
WWE, even when you account for inflation. I don't think the machine that is TKO cares one bit about this is a Jerry Jones thing. They don't care one bit about the product. If you are
Yeah.
letting me make money hand over fist, good enough. Keep it going.
Well, and that's the problem with corporations. That's what they think about. They just the bottom line, the top line. Yeah, they're driving revenue because the tickets are so much more expensive, and they
Right.
don't have to have as many people in the
Mhm.
building to set those records because the tickets are so expensive. From just a storyline perspective, for me, I think there's some feuds he drags out way too long, and
Mhm.
there's some things you're just like he's not spending enough time on, and maybe he's lost the feel a little bit. And maybe there is some of that heel reaction to the crowd when before he's kind of some giving the crowd what they want sometimes, not other times where Vince never gave the crowd what they wanted,
Ever.
basically.
Yep.
So I don't know. I'm a little concerned. There's cracks in the foundation,
Mhm.
but there's time to get it, shored up, right? There's time to do that. It's just when we sit here and talk about Drew and Cody being one of the best storylines they have, that's that's not where we were 2 years ago,
Mhm.
right? We had a bunch of different
A
things
lot of
happening, the
stuff.
bloodline being one, Cody's story being intertwined with the bloodline, other things that were important to us. But man, I'm worried about Triple H. I think ego is what got Vince McMahon, right? And I don't
Mhm.
want Triple H going down that same path of ego. And he could do no wrong 2 years ago in 2024, but this year it's been rough. And maybe the honeymoon's over with him being in charge. And you know, maybe maybe there could be something with The Rock there, right? Maybe he's sabotaging Triple H, but I don't know. I just worry about it because the stories aren't as interesting. They're not as inviting or enthralling or making me care like I should be caring. And so I'm worried about old Triple H, and hopefully he gets it back on track here on the road to WrestleMania. And maybe it's the inconsistency, like all these overseas shows, it's
Mhm.
kind of messed up the rhythm a little bit.
Yeah.
We talked earlier about okay, changing homes. You're on Netflix, you're on ESPN, your archives. We don't know where they're going to be. There's kind of a lot of that. Um, I just don't know. I'm worried about the creative team. I know Shawn Michaels is doing some good things in
NXT,
NXT,
yeah.
but I'm just concerned a little bit, and I don't know if I have the answers. But there's a lot of stories that are left to be desired, and I'm just concerned. So I think he is in a little bit of trouble. We're seeing cracks in the foundation. Some people think they're full-fledged leaks,
Mhm.
but anyway, that's my take on Triple H.
Yeah, I think you mentioned a second ago, the only thing I'll add to that is the kind of corporate America, corporation, the machine, um, maybe lack of a care for talent, maybe lack of care for, hey, we need these individuals to come in and be individuals, and it's who can help push the sludge along, right? I just need you to
Yeah,
go execute my orders. I don't really want too much of you know, a fray away from what we know is working. Like, I know I'm making money this way. This is what I want to do. I'm not really interested in different ideas. I'm not
yeah,
really interested in out of the box thinking. You can do that on NXT. No one's really watching anyway. We don't have a ton of advertising and sponsorships and those things. And that can feel why sometimes NXT feels like a little bit fresher, a little bit more better storytelling. Like Sean seemingly has done a phenomenal job with NXT. Um,
yeah,
I'll watch several different recap shows every week, and it's like it's always very positive. It's always very like, hey, why
yeah,
can't we get this on the main roster? So, I agree with you. I hope they don't go down that road. But just like we said, unless the money starts to take a hit, are his bosses really going to require him to do anything different than what he's doing, and then thus we suffer from a storytelling standpoint.
Well, in wrestling, a lot of these awesome moments happen naturally.
It's organic. Yep.
It was organic. It seems they're trying to manufacture those
100%.
too much, and not letting the crowd and the entertainers and the actors, for lack of a better word,
Yep.
tell the story as much. And so maybe that's something we can dive into on another episode.
Yep.
But listen, what a recap show. We recapped 2025. We're pretty much 2025 is over. We're on to 2026. We're excited about the Netflix anniversary show. And if you're a Stranger Things person, it comes out tomorrow? Is it tomorrow or Thursday?
I think it's Thursday, isn't it?
What, Stranger
Okay.
Things?
The first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's the 31st.
Oh,
It's
so
tomorrow, I think.
31st? It's tomorrow night.
No, it's
Okay.
tomorrow. Yep.
So that will be cool. But listen, I hope 2025 was kind to you and your family. Thank you for tuning in to the Dead Jeff Show. We just started this journey back in, I don't even remember, September or October.
Yep.
And we appreciate you being on this journey with us. We don't have it figured out yet. We're just making our way through this world just like you guys. But I wish you nothing but a best and bright, happy new year and great 2026 health and prosperity to you and your families. Thank you for being a part of this episode. And until next time, peace.